Hey guys, Mika here, and I'm bringing you um, one of the best baritones in the ukulele market that you can get your hands on. This is a baritone Petros custom ukulele from Bruce Petros himself, all the way up in Wisconsin, and he builds literally some of the best guitars and best ukuleles you can get your hands on. Whether that's fact or opinion, I mean, it's pretty close. They're pretty interchangeable. He Bruce makes some of the best instruments in the world, in my opinion, and it's always a pleasure to be able to play his stuff, especially his baritones, because the baritones don't come up too often. He builds a lot of the tenor size instruments, and then concerts, and then baritones every so often. So it's always a pleasure to be able to play one of his baritone instruments. So this one features Tunnel 13 redwood. You can read more of the story or the exact details up in the description, but essentially it was like this old railroad tunnel or old underground tunnel, famous tunnel, and then the wood that was used to support the tunnel on the inside was these redwood blocks that was there to support a tunnel. So they went ahead and mined it, and then now created beautiful instruments out of it. Again, you can read a little bit more in the description. Don't want to say anything incorrect, but beautiful redwood. I mean, this might be some of the nicest redwood I've seen in a long time. Again, sometimes the camera just can't do it justice, but for me, when I look at it in the light, there's just so much like depth and layers, and the quarter saw, meaning like how the wood's cut, and the haziness, like the fogginess. To me, the more fogginess and haziness that you have when you look at the instrument, just the nicer it looks. You kind of don't want to play, for me anyway, you don't want like a plain looking piece of spruce or cedar or redwood. You want something that just has like that holographic 3D effect, and this is that, like on steroids. I mean, this is again some of the, I want redwood like this is so beautiful. Beautiful stuff. And then here on the sides and back, beautiful chocolate ziricote. Just look at the grain on that. Just beautiful, silky, very just luscious stripes here on the back. Perfectly book matched with this tiki back strip design running down the middle of the instrument. Again, ziricote here on the sides as well, and a nice little side port right here. And then it's wrapped nicely with cherry wood right here on the back, all around the instrument, around the side port itself, and even around the top of the instrument, just like that. And then it looks like a maple binding as well, or maple, so not binding, maple purfling that accents the instrument really nicely around that cherry wood here. So it's almost like just a slight wood purfling all the way around, and then you can even see it around the back as well of the instrument. And then on the front, you have a white and black purfling that wraps around, a tiki purfling as well that wraps around the instrument, and then a bigger rosette with the tiki binding. And then Bruce is known for putting like these little turtle inlays on the fretboard of his instruments, 3, 5, 7, 10, double and 12 and 15, as well as having the regular fret markers here on the side, the exact fret markers, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, and 15. Butternut, a gloss neck for the wood here on the back. Rubner tuners, very smooth and wonderful to use. And then also ziricote headstock with Petros's or Bruce's logo right here, and the wood purfling. Just beautiful stuff. And again, with this instrument, playability, this neck is pretty much like a seat neck. Like, it's just really nice and rounded, beautiful. It doesn't kind of come down like this. It just goes straight into the curvature of the neck. It's not pointed in the middle. It's not flat in the middle. It's just nice and rounded. For me personally, this is like exactly my kind of neck that I like to play. It will vary depending on your hand size. If you like, thicker necks, skinnier necks, there's all different types of necks on instruments. But for this, feels really great on my hands personally. Playability of Petros ukuleles are just like some of the best you can get out there. It's set up really low. You can still dig into it so it's not buzzing. I mean, this is a baritone, so you probably wouldn't want to dig into it. It's more of like a finger style, playing really lightly. You don't want to really dig into it, otherwise you might run into some buzzing. And baritone strings can be a little floppy sometimes, so you want to kind of just play nice and light so you can just get that nice resonance from the instrument. But going into the sound, whether you're playing the concert size or Bruce's tenor or baritones, something about his instruments just exudes warmth, and just it oozes of this nice mid, like the perfect mid range of it being just so soothing to the ears. It's just everything that's the note separation between like everything just molds and meshes like pretty perfectly together whenever I play these instruments. Like just everything just sits so well. Like imagine you're playing Tetris and every single time you're trying to fill in the blanks, the perfect piece comes that you can just drop it. And then there's another one and a perfect, like every time just it keeps you're playing a perfect game of Tetris. This is like what it feels like to play this instrument. You just like every chord is just like, oh, it's just so satisfying to watch everything fall perfectly. It's just so satisfying to hear. It's so satisfying to play every single note on this instrument. It's just so clean. And one of the drawbacks of baritones is that it's very susceptible to being muddy. It can be just too warm or just too much. But this instrument is so balanced with it being... It still has enough of the clarity. I mean, this thing is... You can just play by itself without the right hand. I mean... pretty magical. So here we go. Let's noodle on this beautiful instrument. So go on forever and ever playing this instrument. I'll do some very light strumming again. I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but in terms of like baritones, not really known for strumming. You can strum really lightly on it, but it can get a little floppy if you start digging into it a little hard. So just do a kind of a mellow strumming. So here we go.